into a bad project. So our intent is to hear what these people have to say. I hope it's before March 1st. By their projections, they should start having public meetings, public hearings relatively soon, from what I understand, to begin to get the public's input about what the public, you don't think the public's important?
Ms. Deacon, I disagree with you, and I disagree with Eric, because we've talked about this plan. We've had consultants, we've had meetings with all the sports teams. We know what is needed. We know what the population trends are. We've hired consultants to tell us what we need out there as far as
When you
baseball
say
fields.
out there, though, you're talking about...
Anywhere.
Okay, you had a drawing of some
No.
fields.
We've had...
No, all I saw was a drawing.
Well, I'm
was
sorry
not a
that you
comprehensive-
didn't attend some of the meetings, but the plan has been there. I know that was the political thing to say, well, there is no plan, but there was a plan.
There's a drawing that I've
No,
seen. I
ma'am.
have
There was
not seen
infrastructure
any plan.
studies, and we've had this discussion before.
Well, here we are in 2015 going into 2016.
Uh-huh.
We've got M&S hired. I say, let us spend that $30,000 and get our money's worth out of it and see what they come up with. You can't just shoot in the dark with this kind of public money.
It's not a shoot in the dark.
It is.
It's not
We
shooting in the
can
dark,
agree to
ma'am.
disagree
No,
on
ma'am. No, ma'am. We've had this plan for years already.
No, sir,
We might need to update it because the cost.
Will you show me that plan?
Sure.
I'd like to see it,
Okay.
because
Ms.
if that's the
Henrietta?
case, then we spent a whole lot of time on
I've
something.
been telling you that.
No, because all I've ever seen was 4 fields drawn out.
Oh,
That's all
no,
I've ever
ma'am.
seen.
That was
No
something that might
plan.
have been published in the
That
newspaper,
is
but that
not a
wasn't a
plan.
plan.
That's a rendering of
No, ma'am.
fields.
Yeah, no, ma'am, that's not a plan. We've had infrastructure studies, topo surveys, land analysis. We've done the whole
But
work.
now with Sarah involved, even those are probably not relevant.
Well, as far as the number of fields that is needed, the population trends are still there.
Well-
And all it takes is just a visual inspection. If you go out there doing Little League, and you'll see about 7 portable fields out there.
We know that there's a problem out
Okay.
there. But we're not gonna throw bad money, a good money
Okay,
after
we've
bad
been
money.
talking about this for 8 years. 8 years.
Madam Mayor, speaking of throwing good money, looking at the 2 plans that are presented, why did we choose one that was double the cost of another, if we're talking about?
Well, and to answer your question, because we didn't hire somebody local, we did not think that those gentlemen had the resources that M&S does. If one of them gets sick, who's gonna follow up and get this thing done by March the 1st? You think deeper than just certain elements or certain
It's just a
parameters.
question. I was at the meeting, because I was at the meeting. Just a question.
Just a quick question,
Okay.
it's relevant because it goes to the budget.
Yeah, because it goes to the budget, so I was just asking, yeah, I was at your meeting.
Mr. Robles.
I'm going to give Mr. Jones the floor, and then I'll speak after him. He might have a bit of
Doug
idea.
Jones, President of your Parks Foundation. I challenge you, the board, to go back and look at your own budget. I'm told years ago you cut your maintenance and operation fees in half. Why don't you amend your budget, because you can have all the plans you want to? And like Mr. Tate and I had a conversation after that joint meeting. He never brought it to fruition. You've got the plan in your budget, the money to make the plan happen. So go back and look and change your 15% M&S and M&O, whatever it is in your budget, and put more money in it so that you can fix the damn parks. Pardon my French.
And as far as bringing it to fruition, yes, it did come to fruition. It did. But then there was a lawsuit filed that there wasn't the right verbiage on the agenda, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed, but that won't happen again.
I think it was, and maybe a little bit younger for some of you guys, but I think it was Paul Joel that said, right, you take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, but I'm waiting for the opposites to attract. Because I see us taking 2
I guess
steps
it
forward,
depends on who's
yeah,
leading.
and then 2 steps back, but I keep waiting for the opposites to attract. So, it looks like there's a lot of opposite ideas in it, but I'm waiting for the attraction.
They found water on Mars.
If I can share something, it almost sounds like, and perhaps I'm misinterpreting, having done commercial loans for years, that you're counting on these parks to bring in a lot of revenue and a lot of business, and businesses will come because of the parks. Well, let me share with you, when a business is going to go in a certain area, they do a marketing plan, and they take a look at the schools. and they take a look at the housing, they take a look at the cost of the utilities. Believe me, I'm not saying parks aren't important, but they aren't the top of the list.
Mr. Hawes, I don't think we have said it's gonna make money. Parks don't make money.
No, you're talking about attracting businesses and people to come here.
I'm talking about bringing families into the town, yes.
Well, I think we just said the same thing.
Okay, Mr. Robles.
Mr. Fleet, I don't go back to the military, but anyway. But I think that the whole city needs to throw everything away and start all over because, we have Parks Foundation here.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, we look at Parks Foundation here, that we're a 501, and we can't put nothing in the park because we don't have no money. And then we can have parties in the parks, but we can't invite people because the restaurants are not up to par,
That's taken care of.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of things that needs to be done up there, and I'm more writing like a little kid, a wish page. I want swings, I want this for the kids, I want this, but we don't have the money. So, the city's not willing to help us, but it's willing to help the golf course, willing to help the motorcycle ranch. And what about the families here? I've talked to so many people here in Floresville that came from San Antonio to use the parks over here to walk, to jog, or at the skate park, people coming from other states. Because they heard that Floresville is good, but the thing is, the parks can make money, but the thing is that we need to have the right equipment to people to come and enjoy the facility. So what I'm saying here is that all this money that the parks are making, like the roping arena, the pavilions, where's that money going to? It should be going back into the parks to build the park, to keep the maintenance of the parks. But where's that money going to? There's roping arena, like 30 cattle in the fenced-in area. Who's paying for that? Not the cattle to use the facility. Who's paying for that? Who's keeping track of that?
That would have been discussed in one of our workshops. Henrietta, and then we're going to take a vote.
Okay, what I wanted to say is I'm glad all of the entities are talking about parks because everybody has a good point. Businesses, the beautification of our city, all those things are really exciting. And so just last week, I was able to, the sub-council allowed me to go to TML. One of the things that I went to was the park session. And I didn't know, I learned something new, that the sales tax, when you go buy sports equipment, that sales tax goes to fund parks. But the Texas legislation before had actually taken that money, earmarked it, and moved it to go to the general fund. They just did new legislation this year that will not allow that to happen. And so all that money now, so they're going to be grants for parks. One of the things that's required is a master plan that we have to come forward, that the council has to agree with their public hearings. So timing is everything. October 16th, October 2016 is when the next round to do so. So we can do several other projects that we can get ready going forward. We can do some funding, some philanthropy. We have some different agencies that want to give money. So it's definitely something for the forefront. I will say it is a lot to go from March 6th, but I really think that we can go in a collaborative effort since everybody's going in the right direction. I even found information for a skate park revitalization. That was important. So those kind of things, I'm listening. You're hearing it, and so we're ready to move forward. So I would say whatever budget, I did my budget. I'm not messing around with EDC's budget. But I think it's definitely something that we're ready to do, ready to move forward, and having funds available would be helpful. What that amount would be, I don't know. I know 50 is more than what they had actually budgeted last year, 15. Thank you.
Mayor, may I make one short comment, please?
Short, because I'm tired of hearing over and over the same thing.
And I'm not going to go down the same road. I think everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody's for the parks. And I think the hiring of M&S Engineering has been servicing the city for a number of years, brings a great deal of assets moving forward. They'll be able to look at existing plans. They will be able to look at a lot of data that exists, with the Sarah studies, great things. I think the concern is just simply earmarking the money, Councilman. I think the better option here is when we have the plans starting to come to fruition, where we know we're going to have these costs, and the grants may or may not be available, at that time to go to the EDC board and ask for the amendment of their budget for specific amounts, for specific projects. Simply earmarking the money saying parks, but not giving a line item to it or not giving a specific project to it, becomes difficult to manage. I think the better option is to wait and look at specific projects. And as Ms. Teakin said, they may be saving some money in the very near future and may be able to give much more than a $40,000 increase in budget. It may be significantly more. And then we have a plan to go to them to say, these are the costs and this is where we want to use that money. Thank you.
And just real quick, I look at it the same way we earmark $150,000 for EDC for business development or business, and there's no plan for that. It's just, we're waiting to see if anybody comes and asks us they need help. And if they do ask us for need help to bring a business in here, we've got $150,000 set aside. Same thing. And they've done that for years and years.
The EDC does have to come to council and give a report, correct? Is it semi-annually?
He's asking if EDC comes.
The EDC comes to the council to give reports semi-annually?
I don't think
They never do?
they don't have a formal reporting thing for EDC
Now,
council.
there's a council directive in place, Counselor, for the EDC, for the 4A, for the municipal judge, to come to council to give quarterly reports to the council. I was on that council when that directive was issued, and I don't recall it being withdrawn.
I was saying, because I believe last year they did come and
I think they showed up to one meeting to get the report.
I think you're all right about the EDC that
It was a
Mr.
resolution.
Baker never.
Council directive.
He was absent or something like that, he was having some problems.
Council director.
Yeah, I think council directors, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
It was before your time.
Okay, I'm gonna take a vote here. Can I have a motion, please?
I so move to approve a resolution requesting FEDC increase allocated budget amounts for parks to $90,000.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Can I have a motion by Councilman Nieto, second by Councilman Tejada. Councilman Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez?
No. I will hope that EDC makes the right decision, but.
Okay, motion carries 3-1. Okay, now at this time, we're going to go on to 3A, executive session. A, pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code, personnel matters, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, chief of police contract. The time, can I take a motion?
I so move we go to executive session, Madam Mayor.
One quick question before we move into executive session, and it goes to Mr. Hug. Is this all in correspondence with our charter and so forth, and for us to go into executive session? Okay. And it's not something that the manager has to take on directly with the chief of police?
And we can go over all that.
Okay.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Tejada, how did you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. The time is 8:07.
I just think if we